Welcome back to War Fun and welcome aboard the German Me-410A1, the first of the Me-410s that you can get your hands on, and this is the successor after the, well, infamous Bf-110. The armament consists of 2 machine guns with 1,000 rounds, which I really like, and also 2 MG151-20s with 700 rounds between them. That's an awful lot of ammunition. Further, the armament goes up the list with bombs, of which the highest payload is 2 500-kilogram bombs, which gives you a surprising punch in tank RB and also air RB. You can sink even a light cruiser with one of them, and you can drop them separately. Your firepower is centrally mounted, and you also have a single gunner that operates 2 separate 13mm with, well, some surprising firing angles. So even below your aircraft you can shoot at the enemy, which they sometimes do not really like. So compared to the P61, you can fire at enemies that are below you. Sadly, you cannot really use it as some replacement for Schräge Musik, as the P61 can use it, but I digress. So why do I want to show you this plane? Well, first of all, it's a surpriser. It surprised me a lot with its performance, to which will come in a moment, and it's fun. And I wanted to just simply show you a plane that I've completely missed in RRB, because when I researched it and spaded it, it was in arcade like 5 years ago, and I never really touched it again afterwards, despite Gaijin giving me a talisman on it, you know, with the lottery. It's the first of the Me-410s, and it is in a folder with 3 others that just look more attractive. They have even some Werfergranaten, so 4 big rockets, although they are very strangely mounted. You want to have a look at that because it's hilarious how they shoot. They fire upwards. Don't ask me, I just work here. And well, the video is a bit of a kill compilation, as we'll see just in a moment. And I want to hunt down this bomber, this Halifax, which eventually I would succeed in due to my performance, but he just turned around a bit quicker. But there is a Spitfire coming in, and yeah, this Spitfire goes very aggressively into a head-on with me, and he actually kills me, but I also kill him, and it was a good trade for my team, because this was a Spitfire Mark 9C that threw itself away and wasted itself at me, and I already had a kill, so you know, I did the job for my team. Yeah, so now this is another scene, and I think it needs no explanation. The bombers can take some serious beating. Yeah, so what does this plane come with? What makes it so great? First of all, you have bombs, as I just mentioned. Second of all, you have air brakes, as we will see it just in a moment, or you know, while the fight continues, and they can save you from, you know, dives before you pancake, despite your top speed being like 650 kilometers an hour, which is really nice. You also have an air start, much like the P47, and your climb rate is due to your Daimler-Benz 603s. Actually not that bad. However, they overheat even on, you know, ice maps, but that doesn't really matter. You can easily control it with manual engine control. So yeah, 742 horsepower of takeoff power and nearly 1600 horsepower per engine as maximum power is quite something. So that is nice. So we have the armament, we have all the stuff that you have around you, you have a lot of ammunition, you have good performance, and you can surprise the enemy. This plane is underestimated, unexpected. After 5 years of playing this game, I just want to have another look at the game, at some of the planes that are hidden gems that are not that famous. I mean, when we look at the Me-410, you know, there are some other really famous variants or infamous. There are the 250mm gun variants, of which the second one has the lower battle rating, which is the same than you, of 3.7, but it comes in the attacker branch, strike fighter. And there is also the B6R3 variant at 5.3, that is the predecessor to the 335, at least tech tree wise. And so, they have better armament, they're faster, they have more things going for it. But when we look at, for example, the A1/U2, you have suddenly 4 20mm cannons. Aha! So that is a plus point, right? And you also have the Werfegranaten, which are awesome, right? The truth is, the Werfegranaten are in an airfight not that easy to use, because they fire in a very strange angle upwards, and you go up from the battle rating from 3.7 to 5.0, and all you get are just 2 more guns, and you have less ammunition per gun, and also your performance drops because of the additional weight. So I'm not quite sure if that payoff is nice. Now here is the underestimated part. That P63 avoided the head-on. I lay some 20mm mine shells into the air, and he catches some of them and the pilot gets killed. Now I want to also I want you to now pay attention to the duel with this Typhoon. I go into a very, very steep dive, and I overcooked the dive a lot. So that was, I'm not quite sure, I'm not so used to the plane. So now I extend the air brakes and get myself out of this steep dive, and immediately full power, retract the air brakes. I'm still spotted by some of his teammates, and he blind fires me in the clouds. For his perspective, I still have a red box apparently, and yeah, let's see how this duel goes. So the plane is just fun, it's awesome, and I want you to have a good look at it and try to get the maximum out of it. I might have a look at the other ME410s. The 50mm makes for sure for a good sniping compilation for aircraft, especially bombers. Oh yes. And look at this maneuvering versus this Typhoon Mark 1B late. If I'm not mistaken, this is the premium version, so it's fully upgraded. That plane is obviously also fully upgraded. I spaded it, as I mentioned, like 5 years ago, and we almost got him into the crosshair with the right lead, but the manual controlling is a bit wonky, to say the least. And now we are going dangerously close to have him in our crosshair. He panics and does the fatal mistake of turning around. Just in a moment, here we go. He wants to dive down. I expected this. We pull the trigger, and there he goes. Nice kill. And this is what, well, you have to really take this into the right context. This is an unexpected plane. It's some sort of trolling, really, but not really. It's just for me having fun in this plane, and so I played numerous battles in this, not to directly get footage for it, but I spaded my Spitfire Mark 5B, the new one, and I came across one of those 410s, and I was really surprised by his performance. Look at this Mustang. He just pulls up, thinks he's safe, but some of the shells say no. Oh, that felt really good. So the next is a really nice snap from a bomber, just in a moment. So yeah, I think it's a fun plane. It's a jack of all trades. You have bombs, you have guns, you have all sorts of gimmicks going for you, like the air brakes at the low battle rating. And I think the first one is the best one. To a certain degree, it reminds me of the flight feeling like the first Focke-Wulf, the A-1, before the overheating issues started, because you don't have the most firepower, and this is something that you look at in a heavy fighter, because from a heavy fighter you do not really expect that much performance, do you? But this is a bit like the difficult to say, a bit like a brigand, to be honest. So here is a P63. He also tries to avoid me, and he goes down. Again, some shells are in the way of his plane, and kaboom, he goes. And then there is this extraordinary duel with this P47. So again, don't try this at home, kids. This was just for me, you know, pushing the plane a lot. And the battle here, well, I tried to climb to intercept some bombers, but they weren't there. So the P47 it is. Yes, he has, I have the altitude advantage, but I royally screw it up like just a pro like I can do it. So he does the sensible thing, and I almost get the 20 millimeters on him. I overcook the dive now, and I extend the air brakes, and they pull me around. I can now pull 6 to 7 Gs, and he actually underestimates my turning capabilities and has to avoid, and now I am again on his tail, and he just doesn't get it. Seems like he's a bit confused, and he had the chance to actually deal with me, but now I get another few good hits into his plane with the machine guns, which I really love due to their shell density, the effectiveness of the universal belt, and the muster velocity, and the amount of ammunition. You can rack up all sorts of kills from strafing from artillery positions at late game and so forth. So, and there we almost get guns on him again. And now we go into the turn, and you can see his engine is cooking hot, and just as he is straightening out to go into head-on with the German P-47, I get guns on him and he disintegrates. Very, very nice. So this is kind of a different gameplay that I wanted to show you from this fantastic plane. I hope you enjoyed it. I could not really get into all the details, but it's a fantastic plane. Give it a go. It's free to play, and that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies of War Thunder.